kids, where are you? It's time for all the art to tell stories.
In the heart of a vibrant meadow, surrounded by fields of blooming flowers, stood the grand hive of Harmony Hill. This hive was home to a bustling community of bees, each with a role to play in the thriving ecosystem. Among them was Lily, a young and enthusiastic worker bee with a zest for life and a deep love for her hive. Lily had always been fascinated by the intricate workings of the hive. From the moment she emerged from her cell, she was eager to contribute. She admired the older bees who tirelessly gathered nectar, the nurse bees who cared for the young, and the guard bees who protected the hive from intruders. One sunny morning, as Lily prepared to head out on her first nectar-gathering mission, she felt a surge of excitement. She was ready to play her part in the grand symphony of the hive. Lily's wings buzzed with anticipation as she joined a group of worker bees for her first flight. The older bees, led by a seasoned forager named Beatrice, guided the young recruits through the basics of nectar collection. "Remember," Beatrice said, "our mission is not just to gather nectar for ourselves, but for the entire hive. We work together, share what we collect, and ensure that everyone has enough to thrive." Lily nodded, her determination shining in her eyes. She followed Beatrice and the others as they flew over the meadow, searching for the richest sources of nectar. The world below was a kaleidoscope of colors, with flowers of every shape and size beckoning to the bees. Lily landed on a bright yellow sunflower and began to sip the sweet nectar. She felt a sense of pride as she filled her honey stomach, knowing that this nectar would be shared with her hive mates. But as she worked, she couldn't help but wonder about the other bees and how they managed to coordinate their efforts so seamlessly. When Lily returned to the hive, she was eager to learn more about how the bees communicated and coordinated their activities. She watched in awe as Beatrice performed a waggle dance, an intricate series of movements that conveyed the location of a rich nectar source to the other bees. "The waggle dance is how we share information," Beatrice explained. "It tells the others where to find the best flowers and how far they need to fly. This way, we can all work together efficiently and make the most of our resources." Lily was fascinated. She realized that the success of the hive depended not just on individual effort, but on the ability to share information and work as a team. She decided to learn the waggle dance herself, so she could contribute even more to the hive. As Lily continued to work in the hive, she began to understand the importance of each bee's role. The nurse bees cared for the larvae, ensuring that the next generation of bees would be strong and healthy. The guard bees stood watch at the entrance of the hive, ready to defend against any threats. The foragers, like Lily, gathered nectar and pollen, while the builders maintained and expanded the hive's structure. Lily realized that every role was essential, and that the hive could only thrive if each bee performed their duties diligently. She admired the way the bees supported each other, sharing the workload and ensuring that no one was overwhelmed. One day, Lily noticed that one of the nurse bees, named Clara, was struggling to keep up with the demands of caring for the larvae. The hive was growing rapidly, and there were more larvae than ever before. Lily decided to step in and help. "Clara, let me help you with the larvae," Lily offered. I can take some of the workload off your shoulders." Clara smiled gratefully. Lily spent the next few days assisting Clara, feeding the larvae and keeping the brood cells clean. She found the work rewarding, and she gained a new appreciation for the nurse bees and their vital role in the hive. As Lily continued to contribute to the hive, she became more and more impressed by the way the bees shared resources. The nectar she and the other foragers collected was stored in the honeycomb, where it was transformed into honey. This honey was then shared among all the bees, ensuring that everyone had enough to eat. Lily realized that the honeycomb was more than just a storage system. It was a symbol of the hive's cooperation and unity. Every drop of honey was the result of countless hours of work by the foragers, and it was shared freely with the entire community. One day, as Lily was storing nectar in the honeycomb, she noticed that some of the cells were damaged. The wax had cracked, and the honey was leaking out. She knew that this was a problem that needed to be addressed, so she sought out the builder bees for help. "We need to repair these cells," Lily said. "If we don't, we'll lose precious honey." The builder bees nodded and immediately set to work. They used their wax glands to produce fresh wax, which they used to repair the damaged cells. Lily watched in awe as they worked, marveling at their skill and dedication. One summer, the meadow experienced a drought. The flowers that usually provided abundant nectar began to wither, and the bees found it increasingly difficult to gather enough food for the hive. The once bustling hive grew quiet as the foragers struggled to find enough nectar to sustain the community. Lily felt the weight of the situation. She knew that if the hive didn't find a solution soon, they would face starvation. She decided to call a meeting with the other foragers to discuss their options. "We need to find new sources of nectar," Lily said. "The flowers in the meadow are drying up, but maybe there are other areas we haven't explored yet." Beatrice nodded. "Lily's right. We need to expand our search and find new foraging grounds. But we'll need to work together and share what we find." The foragers agreed, and they set out to explore new areas. Lily led a group of bees to a nearby forest, where they discovered a grove of flowering trees. The nectar was plentiful, and the bees quickly filled their honey stomachs. When they returned to the hive, Lily and the other foragers shared their discovery with the rest of the hive. The bees were relieved to know that there was still a source of nectar available, and they worked together to gather as much as they could. As the drought continued, the bees faced another challenge. The honey stores were running low. The hive had always shared its resources equally, but now there was barely enough honey to go around. The bees had to make difficult decisions about how to allocate the remaining honey. Lily suggested that they ration the honey, ensuring that everyone received a fair share. "We need to make sure that the larvae and the queen have enough to eat," she said. "They are the future of the hive, and we must protect them." The bees agreed, and they implemented a rationing system. The foragers continued to gather nectar from the forest, and the nurse bees carefully distributed the honey to the larvae and the queen. The adult bees made do with less, knowing that their sacrifice was necessary for the survival of the hive. If you like our stories, please like, subscribe, and turn on the little bell so you won't miss exciting stories every day. You are also welcome to share it with family and friends to listen to the story together. Love you.